So we are now ready to start bricking up this window that we've opened up. Just a massive hole now. So I found a calculator online that shows how much of water you need to mix into your mortar so that you get the correct ratio. Now, according to the online information, I worked it out down to a kilo, so 1 kilo of cement, how much water you would need. And it says you'll need 160 milliliters of water for 1 kilo of cement. Now, these tubs that I've been using, which are these are 2.4, or is it 2.3? I wrote it down anyway. So I think they're 2.3 kilograms per tub of cement filled right to the brim, flush with the top. Now, going by that, it's 368 milliliters per tub. So sorry, 2 tubs. 2 tubs of those cement. So, and what that looks is this much, which don't really seem like much, does it? And this has got colouring in it. It's got colouring, and it also has Febby stuff in it. Wherever that stuff is gone. Oh, there it is, right there. So it's got that Feb mix, and it's also got colouring. These are the 2 stuff I've been using, and this is the expired stuff. So that's no good anymore. And I've also got a bottle with pre-mixed stuff out of this. In fact, I'm going to put that in a safe place over there. So we're now ready to start bricking up this place. So this is where we're going to start. First one to do is this loose one. That's the first one to do. And then once we've done that, we'll start off, continue all the way through, and let's crack on. All right. Boop, boop. I was actually wrong. 368 milliliters is per tub. So because there's 2.3 kilograms, you times that by 160, and that gives you 368. So it's per tub of those tubs that I've been using. And I'm going to mix 2 batches, so therefore it'll be 2 times 368, and it'll be 2 tubs of cement, and then it'll be 8 tubs of sand. So I'm all in the tub. This is only the first batch. This has got no water in it. I'm going to dry mix this first, and then I'm going to do the second batch, add the second batch onto it, and then start introducing water afterwards. So yeah, let's crack on. Whoop, whoop. Right, so updating you on the cement mix. Right, that calculation was a load of bullshit, basically, that I found online. It's absolute crap. So I've done my own calculations using a measuring jug, and I added water 300 milliliters at a time. But to begin with, I put about 736 or so, which is what the app the calculations recommended. No, definitely wrong, 100% wrong. It was almost like a what we call a dry mix rather than a wet mix. That's what you would use if you wanted to do things like up there. See that joint all the way across? That was done with dry mix. So that's what you would do if you wanted to use a dry mix. That's what you'd use it for. But because you don't want anything to crack, and it cures very slowly, so therefore you don't get any cracks. But this mix is far from what they said. I used 2,636 milliliters of water on this mix, and this is it has it has 2.3 kilos, so 4.6 kilograms of cement is what it has in it. So that's the amount of water you need for that kind of cement. That's what I worked out anyway. So if you were to give it a mix, you'll see, hold on, let's put these gloves down. Look at how nice and frothy that is. And this is the way it should be. Look at that, it's nice and workable. Whoop. So if you were to do that, like that, there you go, you can see it's sticking on very nicely. So it's creating suction, which is what you want. And it's workable. Nice and easy to work with. Brilliant. And this is exactly what we're looking for. Nice and frothy. It's the first time I've actually made it like this. So hopefully this should work with us and allow me to work much easier and much quicker, more importantly. Right, let's see what I can do. Let's crack on. Boop, boop. So we have a bit of an issue. I just don't believe it. So some of the bricks are 215 and others are 220. Like our original bricks, the ones that I'm installing now, are 215, right? And if you look at these, some of the other bricks that are here, 220, and then 220, and then 220 again, right? But if you look up here, 205. Don't know if that's been cut back or what, but okay, let's go on to this side. 220. And then you've got some bricks 215. What the hell? What that does is it messes up my gaps, so I can't do 10 mil. As you can tell, they're quite beefy perks, whatever they're called, the gaps. Like, it's just ridiculous. So I've done the whole thing. I've got to the end and like a massive gap. I'm thinking, how's a one brick going to fill that gap up? Well, it's not, is it? So what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to line up with the existing lines. And even then, if you look at the existing lines, even they're like all over the place. It's crazy. So like, look there. So you start off with that line, and then you kick over, and it's mad. So how am I supposed to stick to that line? Like, look at this. The first two are okay. Kick to the left, kick back to the right. Oh, right. So basically, I'm just going to make it up as I go along by the looks of it. Oh, crazy, man. This is just madness. Alright, so it means I've got to leave massive gaps. Basically, make up my own gaps rather than sticking to them. I'm going to do like 20 mil gaps, I think. That's almost 20 mil, surely. Yep, bang on the money. 20 mil. So it looks like I'm going to have to go for 20 mil gaps to make up the space. So I've got 20 mil there. I think that's a little bit less. That's 15. So I might have to. I've already removed the whole lot once, because when I realised I got to the end, I was like, oh, I'm too short. So I've got 2 more bricks to go in here now, and I'm going to see where I'm at. I'm going to try and make them as big as possible and see what happens. Right. I'm not impressed at all, I tell ya. Whoop. Right, basically every single bloody brick row is totally different lengths. What the hell? Right, so every single row of bricks is different lengths, which means I'm having to adjust my gaps on every single level. It's a pain in the bum, honestly. Let me just zoom out, right? So check out this. I thought I'll do 20 mil, 20 mil, 20 mil, 20 mil, 20 mil. Reduced a little bit, reduced almost nothing. I thought, what the hell? But if you look at the bottom row, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. If anything, it's a little bit over 20 at a few of them. And it's perfect. I thought, what the hell's going on here? So I've measured from here, as an example, to there. And I know my bricks are 215 millimeters wide, or lengthwise. So I've times that by however bricks I need. In this case, let's say 7 at the top. The level that I'm going to do now is 7 bricks, similar to the bottom one. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So then you times 215 by 7, and that gives you whatever it did. I can't remember. And then I think it was 1. And then you measured this distance, which was 1640. Then minus that from the original amount, it gave me 135. 135, and then you're going to have so many, how many gaps? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gaps. So then you divide 135 by 8, and that gives you 16 point something millimeters. So therefore, my next gaps is going to be 16 millimeters per brick. And then on the next one, I'm going to have to remeasure again, recalculate, and then redo it again. Ugh. Just kill me away, don't you? Honestly. Right, let's crack on. Right, so let's update this video. Zoom out, and 3 courses done beautifully, perfectly plumb, perfectly level, and I'll show you. So it's perfectly in line with, so when you put it like that between the existing bricks and you look down, bang on the money, my friend, bang on the money. And it is perfectly level wherever my fudge cake level is. Actually, I haven't used the 1200 one today at all, but there we are. Bang on the money, bang on the money. What? Yeah, so look at that. Beautiful. So I'm happy about that. Chuffed. Absolutely chuffed. I think it's come out much better than that side. And so I've now worked out how to basically make it much more, make the mortar much more user-friendly and pliable. So it needs a lot of water, especially the fact that it was like 25 degrees today, centigrade in the UK. In Hertfordshire, where I'm from, honestly, especially my garage, not huge amounts of ventilation. I've got the roller shutter open a little bit, and there's a door on the other side, got that open as well, and it's not like it's fully sealed. That's all open across there. I left it open on purpose so there's a bit of ventilation. And yeah, it's very warm in here. I even had that fan going all day. I've just switched it off, and it is very, very warm. So it just kept on drying out. And I'll show you something else. A brick bath, basically. I've got all my bricks in water. So when they're done, I'll put them into this bucket. So these ones already washed and dried. Well, not necessarily dry them, I just let them naturally dry out. So that way it doesn't suck up all the moisture out of the cement, out of the mortar. Otherwise, instantly it just pulls it all out and it's gone. So all you got left is sand and cement, and it just dries out so quickly, and it becomes like almost cures altogether. And you're like, oh, trying to work with it. So this time round, yeah, I've been so much quicker versus when I was working on the other side, closing off that smaller gap. Well, I say smaller, taller, but less wide. And this one's wider and less height. So it's probably about the same, really. the fact that I had to redo the bottom one once at least because of the gaps being totally different. So that was a bit of a bummer. And then redone the second one as well once, nearly. A couple of bricks I had to take off and redo because of the gaps again. So on the third one, I've measured it all, made sure I've calculated it just like I showed you earlier. So if you look at the top one, the third one, it's actually 15 mil almost all the way through. I've measured every single one as I was going along, so it made such a big difference. So I'm chuffed with that. The first row is nicely done. The second row is nicely done. Oh, sorry, third row is nicely done. The one in the middle has started big, and it started getting smaller, and it was like the tiniest. You live and you learn, and now I've got the experience of making sure that this time, so on the next one, I'm going to measure it again, divide it or times it by the amount of bricks. So in this case, it will be 2, 4, 6 bricks. So 215 times 6, whatever that will be. And then measure the distance between the existing 2 bricks, the left and the right. And then minus that from that amount, from the two amounts together, minus them from each other. Whatever's left, then we'll divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll divide that by 7, and that will give us the gap for per brick gap. Then I'll measure it again each time. I mean, it doesn't have to be very specific to 16 mil like the one it was earlier, but it does help to be 15 or 20 mil, you know, give or take here and a few millimeters here and there. It's not going to kill anyone, that's for sure. It's not a huge difference. So yeah, but I've been much quicker today, and what I've been doing is I've been laying as I go. So I've not put the bed down altogether, because that's what I was doing before. I was putting the bed down for the whole lot and then just working my way down. Well, it's easier and more fresh to keep the mortar more fresh by just picking what they call a pick and dip, basically. What I've learned anyway, learning all the jargon. So yeah, you just do one brick's worth, maybe 2 bricks worth of bed. What's called a bed is the mortar, basically, that you put on top of the rest of the bricks to lay down your next brick. That's what's called a bed. So once you lay the cement down, mortar down for the first brick, you continue on a little bit more, and then whatever you sort of clean up from the edges of the bricks, you just add it onto that pile, and then you just continue on each brick by brick. And I've been doing it like that, and it was much quicker than laying the whole thing, and then by the time you get to the end one's actually gone off. I mean, me anyway. I'm pretty sure professional brickers will be like, you're taking the time, mate. Probably, but you know, the other bricking that I did, which was over there, it wasn't actually on show. It was all like, it's going to be behind ceilings, so it makes zero difference how it looked. It was just there. I made sure it was in, do you know what I mean? So like, oops, sugar, my nose. So if you look at that, it's literally, it looks terrible. Actually, that's not one of mine. But, so if you look at some of, in fact, this side, mostly the bricks hadn't fallen off. So it's actually the other side, from the other side of the steel is when most of the ones I've done. So yeah, it's not going to be on show anyway, regardless, or those ones. Whereas this is going to be totally on show to start with, and not only the fact that it's going to be on show, it has to be level, it has to be plumb, it has to be perfect, well, as perfect as possible. And I've been trying my best, and I think I'm doing all right. The only thing I need to gain now is speed. That's the only thing I need to gain. And I think today I was much faster than yesterday. So I'm getting there. I definitely won't become a bricky, I'll guarantee you that. I'll never become one. Because it is a very, very time consuming and very, what's the word I'm thinking of? It needs patience, and it also needs a lot of skill, and that skill comes from experience. The more you do it, the better you get, basically. I've not been to a college or anything to do a bricklaying. It's simply from interest and the fact that I'm a quick learner when it comes to physical learning. So if someone shows me something, I'll pick it up very quickly. But if someone was to write something down, not so quick. So that's why in school, didn't really do very well. But I still went to college, still got my MVQs and all that, you know. But that was in heating and ventilation. It's a totally different ball game. But I did do engineering as well, for my mechanics and stuff. So I did all that afterwards. But fair play to all the brickies, I would say. Fair play. Well done, mate. They're all amazing skills, without a doubt. Without a doubt. They deserve every penny they get, 100%. I can see the amount of work that goes in it. So anyway, I'm just blabbing on. Right, I'm just going to mix another batch of cement and let's crack on. Oh, so that was exactly 2 batches worth. I had no cement left at all. I had the tiny bit left and I just chucked it in there just to cover that bit. But this bit is still open. So I would have done with a bit more, but it doesn't matter, you know. It was enough. And this is the amount of wastage. Almost nothing. That's it. That's all I've wasted. So I think I've done alright. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of my bricking skills. Be gentle. Alright, cool. Thanks very much for watching anyway. Boop, boop. Alright, welcome back. So we're continuing on with the bricking up of this old window. And Manfred's there smiling at me. Hello. So let's mix this mortar today. So I've got 4,000 milliliters. Sorry, yeah, it is 4,000. Yeah, 4,000 milliliters of water. We have our colouring, which we're going to use 25 milliliters. And we've also got the mortar plasticizer. We're also going to use about 20 milliliters, I reckon. So we're going to put it all in this, pre-mix it, and then we're going to add it from here onto our dry mix and see how we'll get on with that. See if we're going to use all of that water or we may need a bit more. And if we do, I've got a proper measuring jug here so that I can measure exactly how much I'm using, so that for the next batch I can literally just put the water in, mix it all up, done. No more adding extra. Fingers crossed is my plan. Right, let's crack on. Whoop whoop. Right, so bit of a updating timings, you know. So this is what I've been up to. I've done nearly 6 rows of bricking. Just mixed up another batch. I think this is the best batch I've mixed so far, and I've used 3.8 litres of water. I just threw it all in one go, and this is 4.6 kilos of cement. Look at that, beautiful. And it stays, that's the important thing. Look at that, beautiful, perfect. Right, so we're now ready to put this is my setup that I've got for, just zoom out a little bit, that'll be much better. So this is my setup. There's all my bricks and stuff, all my tools here. There's my table, for my cement or mortar. I'm just about to put it up there. I've got a spray of mixture of this stuff, which has got the colouring, plasticizer and water basically. That's ready for the next batch. That's about 3.6, no, it's 4 litres of water in there. I've taken out a little bit for this one, which has got 3.8 litres left, and we just used 3.8 litres on this. So we've got exact same amount left over. I've been using 3 different levels. I use this one to go that way and that way when I first start. Then I use the 1200 to go across the whole lot like that. And then I use the big one to make sure that we're in line with each other across those 2 brick sections. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Hopefully we'll finish this soon. Probably take me an hour, whereas most brickies it will probably take them 10 minutes. But I'm not a brickie, so I'm doing my best. Let me know in the comments if you've taken such jobs before and how well or shit you've done. It'll be interesting to know. On Saturday, oh sorry, Sunday, this Sunday coming up. Yeah, so this Sunday coming up, we're going to move out. When I say out, we're not moving out. All the furniture, all of our stuff is moving out. I'll be living in the house still, but Sam's most likely, because of all the noise and stuff I'll be making in the 4 days that I'm going to be off after the 11th of November, I'm back to work. So I've got a 4 on 4 off, which means in the 4 days that I'm going to be resting, the first night is always going to be a write-off, because I'll just be resting from after 4 days of driving. And then on the 5th day, which is going to be my first day off, proper day off, basically start on the job straight away and just crack on with it. Just get done as much as I possibly can, and there will be no more. There will be some bricking left. This area here where the flue is, that's got to be redone outside and inside. So something else that I've got to deal with later on. I've got to build shelves in the garage that I'm standing in right now, because all the boxes that are going to come out of the house are going to come in here into the garage. So I've got to clear up the garage. There's just crap everywhere, but most of that is to do with what I'm doing now. So you've got bricks and stuff, sand, cement, mortar, you know, all sorts of stuff just everywhere. So once I clear all that stuff out of the way, then I should be able to bring stuff out of the house and into the garage, no issues. Big furnitures and stuff are going to go outside. So we've got lots of friends and family coming around this weekend on the Sunday. So appreciate you guys coming around. Thank you so much. This video will go up before you guys actually arrive, so you'll be able to see it on YouTube. And thank you all so much. Like, the phone calls that I'm getting in regards to these videos, it makes me happy. You know, it makes me think that, you know, it's appreciated, and I appreciate you guys watching it, that's for sure. So thank you guys so much. The amount of you guys saying that every time you open YouTube, bam, I'm just there. Yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty cool. Appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, thank you. And appreciate everyone that's going to come around this weekend to help us out. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Thank you guys. We'll definitely be having kebab this weekend, without a doubt. And tauc doner, yes, and et doner, whatever you guys want. Whatever you guys want to drink, it's all on us, no problems. No, don't think about food at all. So that's our plan. Anyway, let's crack on with this bricking, and let you know how we get on at the end of the day. Right, whoop whoop. Alrighty, so I'll show you where we're at. This is where we're at. It's definitely, I mean, from this distance it actually looks alright. As you get closer, yeah, it gets a little bit worse for the pointing. So I tried to match the pointing that is existing, which is flat, and I'm struggling a little bit with that, to be totally honest. Maybe I should wet it again and redo it or something. I don't know. Just let me know if you know how to get around that issue so it becomes nice and flat. Anyway, so the next course, I've got one brick missing obviously because I've run out of mortar. The next course excuse me, shouldn't be so difficult. That shouldn't be a big deal. But the one after that is where I'm going to cut it short and leave a brick out because of that section there. And then the ones after that are all going to be missing a few bricks on this end because I don't want to tie that end in yet. Basically that's how I'm rolling. And then see if I can get right to the top and tie that top bit in there. That'd be great. And then just leave the ones next to the flue out. I think we are pretty much thereabouts. So considering yesterday I did, what did I do? 3 courses yesterday. So what's that? 1, 2, 3. Today I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 courses. And I'm a little bit quicker than previous times, that's for sure. But the quicker I try to go, it just doesn't seem to be happening. I don't know where I'm going wrong. Maybe I should do the string line method instead. So put string line rather than using levels and stuff. It might be quicker to stick to string line. The only thing with that is that I need to, it means I need to put some kind of something along the lines to hold the lines, either nails or generally they use profiles, but on this occasion I don't think you can use a profile. So then what you've got to use, I suppose, is like pins, but then it means you've got to damage the existing mortar. So like a gap there somewhere, as an example, you'll have to put the pin in there, nail it in, and do it that way. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I should try that method, see if it's quicker, because obviously I'm having to use 3 different levels each brick. One to make sure it's perfectly in line that way, one to make sure it's level that way, and then one to make sure it's level that way. So it's all taking time, and the mortar is a bit temperamental. I think it's because of the heat that it seems to swallow all of the moisture out of the mortar. So that's a bit of a problem as well. I've been wetting the bricks though. So if you look down there, you'll see 2 buckets, yellow and the white one. They have bricks in them that are getting wet overnight. So that doesn't sort of absorb all the moisture out of the cement that I'm mixing, or mortar, muck, whatever you want to call it. So I'm doing my best to get on with it, but seem to be struggling. I think I need a bricky mate who could help me out. If you know someone who can work for a beer and a pizza or something, let me know. Or can do kebab and beer. How about that? Or actually I can cook them a steak. Oh yeah, tomahawk steak. Yeah, let's go with that. And I've got Guinness in the fridge. How about that? Deal? Sold. To me. Right. Okay. Well, that's it for tonight. I don't even know what the time is. But whatever it is, it's time for bed. Because I am shattered. I need a shower and then bed. Height seems to be definitely an issue. And this step, or whatever it's called, it's actually a pretty good piece of kit. And the good thing is it's extendable as well. So this is the minimum height, which I kind of wish there was a smaller height to it, a bit lower. It would have been ideal, because I would have preferred it to be at that sort of height. So which is 3-4 bricks sort of height difference. What's that? Yeah, about 3 bricks difference. So it would have been more ideal to have it a little bit lower, because this is nice and big. You can go across the whole thing, whereas that's quite small, and you can't really go across the whole width of them bricks, which is kind of useless, really. Anyway, hopefully I'm getting to a height where I don't have to bend so much. So I'm just going to go and clean out all my tools overnight, and then restart first thing in the morning again and see how I get on. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm hoping to wrap up at least this side of the bricks tomorrow, and then the inside, if I have to, I'll leave it, and then Saturday I can do all the cleaning, setting up the gazebo for the back, because Sunday I've got loads of people coming around to help us. So this garage has to be ready for all the stuff that's going to come in from the house. And at this moment in time, it's far from ready. But if you look as an example, this area can be cleared. There's not much there. And then across this side, it's just odds and sods. So, and I've got a few more shelves to come down from upstairs. So they're going to be fitted over there. And then loads more boxes that are coming from upstairs. The house is going to go on them. So yeah, lots of fun. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in a few seconds. But for me, it's a long night to sleep, hopefully. Right, on today's episode, we are still bricking. Right, so let's show you what I've been doing. So if you look up here, my laser setup, and if you look over there, you'll see the green laser running all the way across. It's a bit faint at those sort of distance. To be fair, over there it's nice and bright, but it seems for some strange reason over there is not that great. Anyway, it's enough to see what I'm doing and get it nice and level without actually using a level, which is very helpful, to be totally honest. It's much quicker using 2 less levels. Only you need to use 1 just to level it off that way, and the other side I just eye it up, make sure it's in line with what's already there, just look down it and it's all good. So if I just thought I'll give that a go, it's so much better. I was going to use the string line method, but if you look over there, because of that what do you call it, the flue kind of blocks the string line. You can't, for the next 3 rows or 4 rows, I can't use the string line, and then after the 4th one I could technically, but there's no need because I've got the laser line out now. So that's what I'm just about to move it in a second and readjust it, move it to the next course. And as you can tell, it's sitting just on top of these bricks that I'm laying. On the next one it's going to be the same thing again, so you don't put it onto the mortar, you put it on top of the actual brick so that you can line it up. So yeah, Right, let's crack on. Whoop, whoop.